Welcome back, Genesis, to another gentle yoga class. I'm Beth here in Wichita, Kansas. Yoga is a connecting of our mind, body, and spirit. So try to bring your awareness, your mindfulness to this time. Get in touch with how you're feeling. We'll try to breathe in and out of our nose as it's a nice filter. It's warming and it's calming. We'll begin the class today in a standing position and we'll work our way down to the floor. So if you have a mat, great. Otherwise, grab a towel or just allow yourself to be on a carpeted soft surface. We'll begin our gentle yoga class standing in mountain pose. Our feet are hip distance and parallel. Spread your toes out wide, pressing your big toes and little toes down. Micro bend your knees and press the outer rims of your feet out to activate your abductors. We're going to move that energy up the body, and I'd like to address our pelvis. Let's just do a little rocker exercise here. Tilt your pelvis forward, and then tilt your pelvis back. Just kind of a nice release for your lower lumbar. Forward and back. In between those two places of anterior tilt and posterior tilt is neutral. So find your neutral pelvis. And then we'll move the energy up the body, and you'll bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Inhale the shoulders forward, up, exhale back. How about one more in this direction? And then reverse. Inhale, shoulders up, forward, exhaling down and back. Two more. Trying to breathe in and out of the nose. Very nice. Now let's connect the breath to the movement. Inhale, reach wide, reach tall. And exhale, just float your arms right back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach wide, reach tall. Exhale. We're going to move this time, but we're going to articulate, rolling through the spine. Instead of a swan dive on this first time, let's nod our chin, roll through your upper thoracic, scoop your tummy in. Try not to lean back onto your heels, but micro bend your knees and keep yourself in a vertical lineup of your ankles, knees, and hips. Take your hands to your opposite triceps, and then can you sway your upper body around your lower body? Enjoy the release in your lumbar sacral area. Feel the stretch all the way around the spine, shoulders. One more each direction. And then you'll stop in the middle and you'll release your arms. Grab your inhale first. On your exhale, tuck your tailbone under and roll up sequentially until your pelvis is neutral. Stack the vertebra and inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, let's do that again. Big inhale, reach wide, reach tall. On your exhale, let's articulate rather than swan dive. So nod your chin, roll down sequentially, one vertebra at a time. Place some weight into the front of the feet and toes as well. Hands to the opposite arms, and then can you sway forward and back? Shoulders in extension and flexion, just a nice stretch for the shoulders. Your head is hanging heavy. Decompressing your cervical spine, your neck. Well, let's just stop right here and let your arms just rest either on your shins, on the floor, and nod your head yes. Saying yes to everything that's good and positive. And then we'll shake our head no to anything that's negative. Again, try not to lock out your knees, but keep a micro bend. From here, bend your knees and your exhale and roll up sequentially. One vertebra at a time, neutral pelvis, thoracic, neck, and head. This time we'll do a swan dive. Inhale, reach wide, reach tall. Now this time you'll hinge at your hips and find your swan dive. And fold. Take your hands to your shins and come into a half back. Inhale. Exhale, deep bow. Now bend your knees and reach your arms forward into chair. So look how I'm not hyperextending or tilting my pelvis forward, but my abdominals are in, my glutes are on to keep my back in neutral. Strong legs, strong glutes here. Let's lower the arms down, lubricating our shoulders, increasing the range of motion and mobility. Now, I forgot to mention that you need to bring your sense of humor to this class always, because we'll be challenging our balance. Lift your heels up and down. You'll see me wobble. Heels up with the arms, heels down. How about a couple more? Heels up and down. Arms reach up, heels are up. Now try to keep your heels up, find your prayer hands. Float down the midline and lower those heels. Maybe walk your feet all the way together and then take your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh into your chair twist. Now that right knee wants to come in front of your left. So check it out. Try to keep your knees even. Deep breaths into your ribs, into your spine. Point your left elbow to the back wall so you're not stressing your shoulder. Let's return to the center line and inhale up to the top. Big stretch. Good. Big inhale, reach wide, reach tall. Here's your swan dive. Inhale, half back. Exhale, bend your knees and find your chair pose. Remember to pull your tummy in and point your sitting bones towards the floor so we don't hyperextend. Arms reach up, arms reach back, mobility. When you're ready, add that heel lift with the arms. Strengthen your ankles and feet. They take us everywhere we need to go. Yikes. Just a couple more. Keep your heels up, arms up. Find your prayer hands, and we'll float those heels back to the floor. Here's your twisted chair. Your left tricep goes to the outside of that thigh. Keep your knees even. Look up to the sky if your neck allows. Point your right elbow to the back wall. Return to the center line. Inhale to the top. Exhale. Let's do some lateral flexion. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Make sure your glutes are on. Lift your right elbow up. And if you have better balance with your feet hip distance, please give yourself permission to adjust. And that goes for everything in here. Listen to your body first, and always this instructor second. Use your abdominals. Come back to center. Here we go. Let's open up this left side body here. Come back to center and come into extension. Reach back, open your heart and chest. Back to your center line and float the arms down. Maybe just a brief little bicycle for our shoulders. We're going to do some standing balance now, so you might want to be on a harder surface rather than a carpet. A wood floor would be nice because balance is challenging enough without adding the soft floor equation to it. So you're in mountain pose. You've got energy traveling all the way up through the body. Find your prayer hands. Put your weight in your left stabilizing standing leg. Keep your sense of humor on this. And lift your right leg up. Parallel tree. Find a drishti. That's a single point of focus, something that's not moving. So if you're focused on me and I go down, it's like dominoes. Can you open into tree, opening up that right hip? And you'll push the walls away. That's it, that will help you with your balance. We'll take this right leg back into a curtsy. Get a great stretch on this left hip and thigh. Maybe you can touch the floor. Okay, now this is going to be a doozy. We're going to try to bring it right back up to that tree. Maybe. All right. And parallel tree. Did you see me tap down? Sometimes you have to tap down. Let's do that all again. Here's your parallel tree. Regular tree. Ooh. Here's your curtsy. Move your hip to the left to get a good stretch in your abductors and glute med. Okay, try to bring it back up. Smile. And back to your tree. Whew. Okay, big inhale up. We made it through. Good thing we only have two sides. Okay, here we go. Put your weight into your right standing stabilizing leg and bring that left leg into parallel tree. Find your drishti, a single point of focus. Your right buttock is holding your pelvis square. And again, wobbles are good. Come out into your regular tree and push those walls away. This left leg will travel behind into a curtsy, as if you're picking a feather up off the floor. All right, let's try this. Here we go. Here's your regular tree, arms wide. And parallel tree. Okay, let's try that just once more. Push the walls away, and if you want to be close to a wall, or even a chair, you can do these standing balances at a chair or wall. Here's your curtsy. Big stretch into that right hip and glute. Come right back up to your regular tree with your arms horizontal. Tap down when you need to. And right here, return. Very good. Whew. All right, another standing balance series. So I'd like you to take your right toe out and tap. You can have your arms horizontal or maybe a little more challenged by reaching your arms up. Your standing leg is micro bent. Now you can tap the floor every time, so we're strengthening our abductors, strong hips. Maybe after a while you don't have to touch the floor every time. Try to lengthen both sides of your waist. 4, 3, 2. Can you hold your starburst right here? Take the leg back down, arms are wide, and circle in front to prepare for eagle. So your right arm goes beneath the left. Here's the first position. If your shoulders are a little tight, position 1. Position 2, knuckles to knuckles. Position 3, all the way around. Reach your elbows forward and your thumbs are right at the midline. Energize your inner thighs, your glutes, your pelvic floor, and then maybe your right toes stay on the floor, or maybe they suspend, or maybe they wrap, knowing that they can come out anytime you need them to. Whoa, wobbles, they happen. Keep your arms the same, but uncross your legs and bend your knees and your elbows find your shins, and then lift your sitting bones high. Great stretch for your lats, shoulders. Deep breaths. Micro bend your knees so we don't lock out. And we're going to roll it up to a tall spine, to the top, and then standing camel. So make a fist, place the fist on your upper glutes, and then squeeze your elbows together and come into your standing camel, which is extension. It opens the front body up, counterbalances all the rounded shoulders, the rounded thoracic. Use your abdominals and glutes to come right back up to the top. Very good, and we're ready for the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart, and you'll tap your left toe out. Arms can be horizontal for balance, and your hand can also be on a chair. Maybe the arms reach up, and let's begin to pulse that left leg, strengthening our abductors, glute med. Find your drishti, single point of focus. You'll find most likely that one leg is better than the other, but we need to get the weaker leg, limb stronger. Now maybe hold your starburst. If you have to tap down, that's just fine. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Whew. Arms wide, cross it over, preparing for eagle. So it's like you're perched on a limb. You'll take this left arm underneath and take your hands on top, Bring your elbows down. And then maybe your knuckles are back to back, or maybe you're able to go all the way around with your thumbs at the midline and your knees at the midline. Reach those elbows forward. Maybe your left toes stay on the floor, or maybe every now and then they can lift up, or maybe they can wrap around your ankle for a second or two. Whew. Inner thighs, glutes, pelvic floor lifting. Tap down as you need to. Keep your arms the same. Uncoil the legs. Bend those knees, your elbows, find your shins, and then lift your sitting bones up to the sky. Deep breaths right here. Press all four corners of your feet into the floor. Fire the glutes and lift the abs. Micro bend your knees so we can bring ourselves up to the top. Very good. And you'll make a fist, place them at the top of your buttocks and push the flesh down. Squeeze your elbows together. Standing camel. If you've been sitting at your desk for a while, try some extensions for your shoulders and spine. Make sure your buttocks are on to help support your lower lumbar, pelvis. And we'll come back up to the top. Big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach wide, reach tall. Exhale, big swan dive. Inhale, half back. Exhale, come to all fours, shins down. We'll do a little cat and cow here. Extension and flexion of the spine. Inhale, lift your tailbone and chin. On the exhale, curl your tailbone under and round your back. Scoop your tummy in. Spread your shoulder blades wide. If you'll squeeze your thumbs together, you'll activate more chest and core. On the inhale, tailbone chin up. Exhale, cat. And just one more. Inhale, extend into cow. Exhaling into cat. Very good. Now come back to a neutral spine and take your right leg back. That's it. And stretch the back of the knee, the Achilles, the calf, and we'll grow the spine. We'll grow the pose from here. Keep your pelvis square and lift your right leg using your right glute. Now if you feel okay about your balance, reach your left arm forward. Stay. You can release either limb to the floor at any time. Now let's bend that front knee. Take that arm behind you, and maybe you stay right here. If your hand can find your ankle, there's your kneeling king dancer. And you're back in extension again. Opening the left shoulder and chest, right hip and thigh. Try to look out to the horizon, taking your chin off your chest. We'll release the left hand to the floor, and your right foot lines up with your left knee, and you'll sit back. This is good if you've ever had plantar fasciitis, or if your calves and Achilles are tight if you're a runner. Press your weight onto your right thigh and try to keep your heel down on the floor. And then just breathe into that calf. Surrender and let go. Take your hands forward. We're going to roll up through the length of the heel, bringing your toes into extension. You'll find if your toes start to lock up, your balance suffers. So you want your toes to remain bendy and supple. Roll back down through the length of the foot, and to the heel is the very last thing to touch the floor. Apply your weight from your torso onto your thigh. Very nice. We'll switch to the other side now. You'll take your left leg back. So you've switched legs now. Your thumbs are squeezing together. You're lifting through the upper back. With your glutes on and your hips square, let's lift that left leg straight behind. Starfish hands. If your balance is okay, let's add that back arm right here and hold. Try not to put a lot of weight in that wrist in the front. Use more of your core. Can you bend the front knee? Take the back arm behind you and maybe you stay here, or if your hand can connect to your ankle, there's your kneeling king dancer. So you don't really have to deal with as much balance as we do king dancers standing. And again, wobbles are good. Release your king dancer and take your front toes even with your right knee and press your heel down. Press your torso onto that left thigh. Deep breaths right here. Try to use your breath to surrender and let go of any binding or tightness. Can you walk your hands to the front and roll up through the length of the foot and bring your heel, your toes into extension. Again, we need supple, bendy toes. And slowly roll back down until your heel is the very thing last down on the floor, and just hold it here. From here, let's just have a seat. Take your left shin forward, and so both knees are at 90 with your left leg in front. Preparing for pigeon. Love to give modifications for this, just in case people's knees or hips aren't ready for the full expression. So here's your first position. Your second position is to take that right leg behind you, and you're nice and tall, and sometimes it takes a while for this psoas muscle to stop gripping. So try to surrender and let go. The front foot is flexed. Help protect the knee. Now, can you curl your right toes under? I'm going to give you that profile shot. And try to lift your right knee off the floor, and if it's too much, you'll know. You just won't do it. Always listen to your body first. And make sure this back buttock is engaged so that you don't strain or injure your psoas muscle as we're trying to restore it. All right. Take your right knee down if it was up and place the back of the foot down to the floor, and we'll walk straight down to our pigeon, trying to keep our hips square. Rest your forehead on the floor and try not to let your back foot sickle. Try to keep it running parallel to your mat. If you need just a little bit more, if you could handle more, lift your chest and walk to the left. Take this right arm and reach way out. And lower your forehead back down to your left hand. It's just a great cross-grain stretch across your shoulder, your spine, all the way down. Try not to lean too deeply to the left into that left glute, but try to keep it square so you're getting a good openness on that piriformis. Let's walk back to center and bring it up. Cross your back leg in front. Now here's the end pose. If that's too much, bring your left leg out in front. If you can keep both sitting bones down, you can do twist with both legs crossed. And you can either hug that knee or bring it all the way around and give yourself a nice twist. Deep breaths. Now remember, in your twist, you always want a tall spine, so we're not grinding or compressing the vertebra, but we're creating nourishment. Inhale to stay. On the exhale, untwist from your belly button, your ribs, your sternum, and then your face. This will get us ready for the other side. Pigeon prep. You can have both knees bent to 90, or take that left leg behind if you can handle that much openness. Flex your front foot, curl your back toes underneath, and see if you can lift your knee off the floor. If it's too much, don't do it. Always listen to your body first and listen to me second. Whew, it feels so good when you've been sitting or traveling or binging on streaming devices. It's good to get these hips opened again. Rest your knee back on the floor and take the tops of the feet down and walk it forward. So maybe you just go to your forearms and that's where you stop today. Or if you can take your forehead down, just go where your body can handle and use your deep cleansing breaths. Remember, your lungs are like balloons. Inflate the balloons and then slowly deflate the balloons, and your skeleton will, the muscles that cover your skeleton will respond to that. Now I like to go a little bit deeper. So I lift my chest and I walk my left arm across, and then I lower again, resting my forehead on my hand. Deep breaths into that right piriformis, that deepest glute muscle. Let's walk back to the center and we'll find our twist. You'll cross that left leg over. Now remember, if this is too much, right leg stays out. And if your right leg is straight, have your foot vertical and dorsiflexed. If you can keep both sitting bones down, you're good to have both knees crossed. So we're either here or we're here, and I'm kind of using that leg as leverage to bring my belly button around, shoulders down, chest up, and again, in twists, your spine is tall. Inhale to stay. Use your exhales to untwist first from your belly button, then your ribs, then your shoulder, and then your face. And we're ready for Shavasana. Let me show you a different couple of positions for Shavasana. If your back is kind of testy today, maybe you roll back and your knees stay together, and that keeps your back in neutral so that you don't have an annoyance in your back. Traditionally, we take our legs out diagonally to the corners of the mat, and you allow your ankles, knees, and hips just to roll open. Maybe you wiggle across your pelvis so that you're finding that sweet spot where you're evenly weighted. Your palms are up. You'll shimmy your shoulder blades down, and we'll just let those arms rest from here. Even wiggle your skull a little bit, but keep your neck neutral. So don't flatten out your neck, but keep a natural curve to that neck. Bring your teeth slightly apart, softening the muscles around the jaw. Allow your eyes to float. Soften the tiny muscles around the eyes. Smooth the muscles across your forehead. Let this time be a gift to you, where you restore and recover. And I'll let you finish your Shavasana in your own time. And when you're ready, you'll sit up and make it a great day. I'll see you next time.